What's up, ladies and gents? This is KSigKid, coming at you with another Destiny video. Today, we're going to be doing our Shaxx weekly bounties. It feels like we haven't done them in a while, and it's because we really haven't been focusing on them, but I have picked them up, and I've just kept them in my inventory, ready to go for whenever I just felt the need to go into PvP and play a little bit of it. So this past week, I ended up deciding to go in on my Warlock, on my Titan, and on my Hunter, and I ended up finishing them up, turning them in, and we're going to see what loot we get on all three of my characters. Now, one of the bounties that I needed to complete on pretty much all of my characters was the 10 kills with all the 4 different types of primary weapons. So the Scout, the Auto Rifle, the Hand Cannon, and the Pulse Rifle. So in these clips that we show, I'll actually be using a different primary weapon in all of them, because that's one of the really nice things about these particular bounties. You end up being able to get familiar with all of the different weapon classes in Destiny. And that's a really nice thing, because we all definitely have our favorite weapons in Destiny, and whenever you're in PvP, you always want to be at your best, so being with a weapon you feel the most comfortable at is obviously a big bonus to you. But you never know whenever Bungie's going to go through another nerf and another tweaking spree, and a weapon type or archetype that you absolutely despise might become the unmitigated meta monster that there is. It might be the only way to go into Crucible and get monster kills. So these type of bounties are really nice to be able to jump in with all the different weapon types and just get familiar with them. Because honestly, there are some times where I'm just feeling pulse rifles and I don't want to touch scouts at all. Or it might be an auto rifle type of day, and if I put on a hand cannon, I can't do anything with it. These particular bounties let me just use some different things and find out some different weapons that I really like to take into the Crucible, and you'll see a few of those weapons right here for sure. So I strongly recommend going ahead and doing these Shaxx bounties. In fact, in order to get these Shaxx weekly bounties, you need to complete that quest that finishes off with the mountaintop. And whenever you complete that, it will also be something for your Year 2 Moments of Triumph. If I had to guess, I would guess that this is probably one of the biggest and most missed moments of triumph for Year 2 that people are needing in order to get their final shader and those emblems before Year 2 comes out, before the Rise of Iron comes out. So if you can do it, I would recommend getting in and strongly going into Crucible, playing all those things, because that quest is so ridiculously long. That Shaxx quest, you pretty much get it very, very, very early in the game. Probably after completing the Taken King main quest, and probably some of its side quests, then Shaxx give you a bounty, and chances are, if you've got a Crucible bounty in your quest line, that's what it is. I don't know exactly all of the steps off the top of my head. You might have to Google that thing. There are a lot of steps and a lot of changes that ended up going into that long quest line, but it is worth doing. Not only for the Moments of Triumph, but for the Year 2 rewards as well. Because you end up getting Nightfall tiered bounties, except for the fact that these bounty rewards that you get are better than you get from the Nightfall. These actually give you endgame 335 loot, and you can get anything from a weapon to an armor piece to a ghost shell, and exotics if you're lucky. So 335 might not mean a whole lot in about a month, but the term endgame light really does. So whenever we get to the Rise of Iron, we're going to want to gear up for the raid, the normal raid. The maximum light level is going to be 385. You're going to want to get your character up as high as you possibly can for the raid if you want to go in and start experiencing it. So how are we going to do that? Well, the best way is going to be able to have yourself prepared and ready to go as far as light level goes. If you've got something that is going to give you some guaranteed endgame reward light, then you might as well put that to your advantage. Now obviously, if you complete a Shaxx bounty or that final weekly True Meaning of War bounty, whenever the Rise of Iron drops, you are not going to get 385 light. If you're sitting at 335, it's just not going to happen. That's not the way the infusion system or light leveling system works, but it will give you something to work towards that. For instance, if you happen to be really close to the max that you can do, whenever Friday rolls around before the raid ends up dropping, you might then just turn in that Shaxx weekly bounty and be able to get even higher light and be ready to rock and roll and just go into the raid and tear things up. So I would strongly recommend, even if you don't love Crucible, if you want to be able to get your character leveled up as efficiently and quickly as possible, have that extra avenue to getting that endgame light. And one of those ways is going to have these Shaxx bounties ready and being able to do them whenever that Rise of Iron comes out for those first couple days where it's going to be a mad dash to get our light levels up and become raid ready. Also, Iron Banner. Iron Banner is going to be a good time this weekend. So it's as good a time as any if you're doing the Shaxx bounties or the Shaxx questline to get it started and get it going, because you're going to be playing PvP anyway, aren't you? I think you are. But I think we're about done showcasing these PvP clips. We've got to go in and turn in our loot and see what we end up getting. I need one more of these Shaxx bounties to complete my true meaning of war on my warlock, and I'm just going to turn in these other PvP bounties that I had that really don't matter a whole lot. When I turn in my true meaning of war, I get an ash factory. So this was actually a rocket launcher I was really looking for towards the end of year 1. I ended up getting it here, and it's 334 unfortunately instead of 335. As far as the rocket launcher goes, it's really not terrible. I've got Javelin, which is really nice. This thing definitely wants that. And tracking's definitely more useful in PvE than PvP. Unfortunately, this rocket launcher is made to be a bit more of a PvP rocket launcher with that one magazine size. Still, overall, not a terrible rocket launcher. Next up, it's the good old Hunter, and we need to see what he needs to do in order to complete his true meaning of war. I'm going to just turn some things in right here and see if we're ready to go. Nope, we still need to turn in another one. And another one. We get some strange coins. So 17 strange coins instead of any gear. And finally, we're over on our Titan. I'm going to turn in our bounties next to Shaxx because I really believe I'm going to level up Shaxx. After doing this, I need to turn in 2 more, and I think I'm going to save that one for next week. I really hate doing the one that's 3 different Crucible modes, getting a win in them. Here's my rifles and cannons, the one where I needed 10 kills on each of the different weapon types. And finally, turning in the true meaning of war, we get a Revelator. Now, this is not a hand cannon that I am really a fan of, and you can see we did indeed level up Shaxx. So we're going to approach him and see what he gives us for our Crucible package. We turn this in and we end up getting, no, another longbow. No way. Oh my goodness. People are going to be so salty. If this turns out to be another ridiculous longbow, people are going to unsubscribe in flocks. Oh crap. Okay, first off, the Revelator. Again, I don't like this because it has no range at all in it. Just not a fan of that. Though I do have reinforced barrel, but then I'm even sacrificing more of the stability, so I'm really not a fan of the Revelator. I don't really like it as a weapon. And it's time to take a look at that longbow. I'm a little bit nervous. This was the first longbow I got. That wasn't the god roll. That's just the first one that I ever ended up getting. And this one, okay, you guys are safe. You guys are safe. This is not a god roll longbow, so it's nothing like the one that I got the other day. This one is okay, but it's not god roll at all. Not at all. It does have short gaze though, and honestly, for a sniper rifle, all you really and truly and honestly need is a sight that you like. Because snipers are just such snipers now. They really are. They're uncounterable by any other weapon in the game right now. So really all you need is a sight that you like and go to town and get those headshots, get those kills. So those were my Shaxx bounties this week. That was Shaxx. Did you do it this week? Did you get anything awesome? Anyway, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, your Shaxx, and I'll see you around in Destiny. Not a god roll. Repeat, not a god roll.